Welcome Scorpio, this is Moonstone Soul. My name is Deborah. I'm going to do you a November general reading. So I have shuffled and meditated on the cards. They've been sitting here with a couple of crystals for Scorpio this month. Sodalite and a lovely chevron amethyst point. So we'll just get cracking on this. Don't forget this is a general reading. If this doesn't resonate with you or you want some further messages, please check out your moon and rising signs. Switch in there. We'll just see what they are. We've got the High Priestess, the Ten of Swords, and the King of Wands. We'll see if they come out. Using today for you the Gilded Tarot by Ciro Marchetti. He's my favourite illustrator of tarot cards. I've got a couple of decks. And I felt that this one was the right one for Scorpio in November. So we'll see what comes up for you in your present situation. Oh. We'll take, there's two there, and we'll take that one and that one. Your present situation and what's crossing you. And we'll just see if we can get one for the recent past just before we turn those over and take a look at that one. Let's see what we've got to start with. In your present situation, we have the Page of Pentacles, a lovely earth-based card, and we have Justice across there. So the Page of Pentacles can represent a younger or young-spirited earth sign, which is obviously Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn. If you know anybody that relates to, that could be what that's about. Otherwise, if we're talking just a general energy or a situation, we're talking about, that's often called the Architect card. It's a slower energy than the other suits, which can be a little frustrating for Scorpios because they like to crack on, oh goodness me, and get on with it. But it does denote a new start of some kind, whether that's a new job, a new way of organising your household, a new finance stream, a new relationship potentially. We'll just see what the other cards say about that. So that's a nice, slow, steady start for Scorpio. We've just come out of Scorpio season, so that really fits in quite nicely. This is your new year. You've just had your new year. So after all the celebrations of your birthday time, now it's time to crack on again, knuckle down to the real world, and start afresh, get some new goals and ambitions going. Scorpio's great with ambitions. Quite relentless once they've decided they want something. They will just keep on keeping on till they get it. So that, the cross there, crossing you is the Justice card. So that can either be a help or a hindrance. In this case, I would say just make sure everything is in balance. Try and keep it slow and steady without going too far one way or the other. I know Scorpio's got a really bad rap for being extremists, and there certainly is the potential for that, so that can be part of their charm. If Scorpios want something, the other sign to go and get it, because they really do pursue whatever it is they want until they've tracked it down. So, like anything, it's a double-edged sword. That can be good, that can be problematic. Well, oh goodness, well, I don't normally take more than two, but they came out, so we'll take them. Now, for the recent past, what have we got here? The Queen of Pentacles. So you really have been thinking about your material world, and that includes anything that you deal with on a daily basis, including relationships. But this is a very earthy start for Scorpio. I think you're just getting down onto the practicalities of things. It could be a person, but it doesn't feel that way. But that doesn't mean to say it's not. You'll know if you've got an earth sign in your life, which, as we said, was Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus. So you really have made plans to get going on the earthy side. And we'll see what that brings you in the near future. The Ace of Wands. There we go. There's a bit of passion. Lovely new start there. Wands for me are particularly creative. Also, they relate to sexuality. So possibly, excuse me, possibly a new intimate relationship there. Crowning you is the Tower. So that's on your mind. And that ties in nicely with the Page of Pentacles and the Queen, but mostly the Page. Page is a new starts often, messages perhaps as well. So something wasn't working, and over your birthday season you had a rethink, changed your focus, changed your plan, and I find the Tower card a really positive one, because anything that's in your life that isn't working should be got rid of. This can be difficult, the transition and the challenge, and your challenge here is with that Justice card to keep it balanced. Maybe look at all sides of the equation before you start go off making the decisions. The base of the reading here, we've got the root of the situation, is the Knight of Wands. Some more fire energy there. And he is, to me, he's not the most romantic knight, but he is definitely, does, for me, speak of romance, more of a physical romance, more of a sexual energy. The two there, that looks like there's something very positive there. But Scorpios can use that energy and fire and creativity and passion. You don't always have to put it into a relationship. They can put it into their home, their ambitions, their work, their sport, their hobbies. But something's fired you up with the Tower here, and you're ready to rock and roll on your new start. So in your ego position, we have the Two of Cups. So it does seem to be that there is some kind of romance in the air. It's certainly where your mindset is, that's for sure. Whether it's something you want and you're trying to call it in, or something that's already here. Maybe the Queen of Pentacles. In your outside influences, we have the Two of Wands. Maybe there's more than one person. Or maybe, because it's come from an outside influence, maybe somebody that you're interested in has to make a choice whether to say yes or say no. So it would seem to me that whatever new beginning this is, it's quite fragile, and it is dependent on another party's decision. But again, Wands. You can't really get much more phallic than the Wands, can you? So, in your hopes and fears, they've all come out all reversed. But those two cards aren't too bad to be reversed, actually. So we've got the Ace of Wands in reverse. The Ace of Wands is clarity. For me also, I think of it as divine timing, divine intervention, something destined, if you will. So maybe you're not sure if this is right for you. There's a few little niggles there. That's a thought only. Swords are in your head. As we know, Scorpios aren't usually ruled by their head. They tend to make their decisions based on their gut and their instinct and their emotions. Now, we also had the Four of Cups and the Five of Cups reversed. So the Four of Cups is, a little bit boredom, not getting fired up about anything. That came reversed. That doesn't mean necessarily that that meaning is reversed, but may have given you a little bit of fire in your belly with all this fire going on here. And the Five of Cups is a disappointment of some kind. You know, it's an emotional hurt. It's not a major, but it just leaves you feeling a bit flat. And you're not feeling flat because they're reversed. And maybe because of the emotions that these bring forth in you, quite clearly you're feeling the love. Maybe that's making you distrust the situation a little bit, and you wonder if it is actually the smart thing to do, because it's making you run away with yourself a little bit. Now, in the outcome card, we've got the High Priestess, and that is clear. That's a as you can see there, she's the knowledge bearer of the divine, the temporal, and if you need to find answers, this is the lady to go to. So that is what you're doing by month's end. You are looking for some answers, and you're going to find them within yourself. Scorpios are highly intuitive, and if you can just clear your head a little bit, you will find the right answers there. But whatever this is, it's in its infancy, because we've got the Tower card, so you're still, maybe you changed partners, or you're thinking of changing partners because somebody else has caught your eye. So this is all very new. And I think we'll just clarify the Tower, see if we can get some further information on that Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles is often described as the out in the cold card. So maybe it was that your previous relationship wasn't giving you what you needed. It made you feel like you weren't receiving the same level of commitment or emotion as you need. And that caused you to realise that actually that's not working for me. Maybe I'll try it out with this new person. That would certainly bring on a Tower moment, the Five of Pentacles. It's not a nice feeling. It's a card of low self-worth. So if your previous relationship was making you feel that you weren't deserving, or that you weren't getting what you deserved, and you're still in that process, I think, or you're still at least processing the thoughts around that, because in your ego position, it might be a case of with the Two of Cups, it might be a case of the grass is greener, and maybe it really does depend on what this other person chooses, which path they decide to take. No matter what the outcome, you're going to find the answers that you need from within yourself. You just take a bit of quiet time and really be honest with yourself. You'll find which way to go, whether that's with try and patch it up with the previous partner, try and move forward with a new partner, or actually just spend some time being single. And if you are currently single, you know, it could mean that there is something new coming in. But you still need to be mindful and just take into account both your gut, your head and your heart to decide whether it's something you want to progress with. Because we don't have anything here except this Five of Pentacles, which is a different sort of situation. With this new person, we've got an Ace and a 2. And we've got the 2 there. So it's young. It's just starting, whatever it is. And at the bottom of the deck, we've got the 9 of Wands, which is kind of the overall energy, how you're feeling about that. So maybe this is why you are having these little wobbles up in the head. You've been down this road before. Do you really want to get back on that track of trying to make something work and it doesn't work? But I think you will. because it is another wand which is tying in with the whole passion idea. That seems to be, oh, look at that, coming in. And you do know your way around relationships. You've had some experience there. And yeah, it can get you down. And it can feel like it's a bit futile. But you know that the good stuff is there too. So you just need to have a little think about what you want to do going forward. By the end of November, I think that's what you'll be doing. The early part of the month, you might get all fired up, and then you just kind of go, oh, now hang on, do I really want to get involved in something like this again? So it's well worth, if you're having doubts, it's well worth taking some time out, maybe even going away for a weekend on your own if you can, clearing your head of everybody else's energy, and just finding out really what it is you want and how you want to progress with this situation in the flow. So this is the Sacred Traveller Oracle card deck by Denise Lynn. Beautiful illustrations. It looks very Christmassy, doesn't it? Coming up for Christmas time, or Christmas tree if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. I'm in the Southern Hemisphere, so that looks nothing like Christmas to me, but it does have that sort of Christmassy feel. And the holiday season is coming up. So perhaps by the end of November, as we go into December, start to think Christmas and holidays. And if you're in North America, Thanksgiving in November, so be involved in that. You might be going in the flow. I'm just trying to find that. I've just forgotten my alphabet momentarily. Where are we? In the flow. Here we go. Everything is smooth sailing. It looks, you are smooth sailing in your head with regards to this whole love thing until you hit the wobbles. The High Priestess, maybe that's what gets you in the smooth sailing. So we'll just read what it says. Excuse me. Let go of the shore. Enter the flow. You're moving into a period of gracious ease and flow. All is unfolding perfectly and with good timing. Everything is falling into place because you aren't resisting the drift of the great river of life. Enjoy the ride. This isn't the time to try to control the events of your life. Let the Creator support you. You don't have to do it all yourself. The glory of the universe flows through you. It's not easy to let go of the shore. However, this card is urging you to take a risk and let go. When you are truly in the flow, you don't need to push or exert effort to make things happen. You can flow around any obstacle. If there is a situation in your life that isn't falling into place, let it go. It's not the right time. When you're in a state of flow, you aren't pushing the river to go faster and you aren't swimming against it. You just enjoy the ride. If you are feeling the smooth current of life, it might mean that you're trying to control situations in your life, or you're being too self-critical or judgmental. The way to move into the flow is through gratitude and appreciation, and by allowing others and spirit to support and help you. So the advice on that, I think, for this new relationship and the old one, if this is your situation, if it was too hard, let it go. If this new potential relationship feels good and it's flowing, then it's worth looking at. But you do need to still check in with yourself and try and get a little clarity there. But it definitely looks like there's some promise. The only thing I would say is there's not a lot of swords. Just trying to see what pentacles really. I don't know what these pentacles. I don't know if it might burn itself out. You know, is it something that is quite fiery and passionate and gets the blood boiling and the adrenaline flowing and it's all cool and groovy? But will it burn itself out? The Knight of Wands has a tendency to do that. especially if it's potentially just coming off a previous relationship, or you're kind of still stuck in between the two. Well, that's where the Nine of Wands comes in. You know how these things work. You're smart. You'll make the right decision. Now, I always close out with a Crystal Angels Oracle card, and two popped out. So we've got Rose Quartz, which is love life. Very nice. New or renewed romantic love is here for you. I think we can see that by these cards. And the other one was Amber. Give it to God. Take a deep breath, and on the exhale, release the situation to God for healing and answers, which relates quite nicely to the High Priestess card. So I see no cards here of you trying to control the situation or manipulate it. But perhaps that's what you are doing. We will read Amber first, just because it starts with an A, and it's easier to find. Amber. And if we put that there, have a little look at that while we read about Amber. You received this card because there's an issue weighing you down, and this burden could be lifted by you giving it to God, and by God, feel free to substitute that for the angels, the universe, destiny, whatever suits you. You don't have to deal with this situation alone, as divine help is readily available. Perhaps you forgot, or maybe you were unsure how to let go and let God handle the situation. As you read this paragraph, pause for a moment to pray from your heart, asking for help to let this go, with whatever words are sincere. Hanging on to a problem never resolves it, and actually can make it worse. So that's why we have Tower cards, right? To let go of the stuff that's not working before we just make it worse by trying to hang on to something. And water signs can be like that once we, because I'm a Cancer, so I can say this, once we get emotionally attached to somebody, it can be really difficult to let it go. It's a constant lesson for water signs. Amber reminds us that God has always been with us since the beginning of time and material existence. This reminder is meant to boost our faith that God knows how to solve any problem. However, we first have to give it to God because our free will choices are respected. Amber is fossilized tree resin, not technically a mineral. However, it is a light-filled gift from nature, so it is frequently included within the crystal realm. Amber can brighten your mood and fill your senses with divine light. It also helps you connect with and heal from your past. So Amber, if you've got a piece, might be worth carrying around at the moment to let go of previous relationships. Ditch the baggage, is basically what that's saying. And Amber is very much the same sort of colours as this card, which is a nice confirmation of where we're heading. I think Amber seems to be quite appropriate. And the other one was Rose Quartz, which is even more appropriate. I know we don't have masses of cup cards, but we do have this in your ego card. And these lovely fiery cards would indicate to me love rather than anything else right now. And now that we've got Rose Quartz, I think it just kind of confirms that. Having said that, if you're not in any kind of romantic situation and very happy with that, potentially with these pentacles, that could be a new job that you love. Just saying. But it does feel very much like a love reading. So Rose Quartz, love life. Your heart is ready for great love, and this card validates that your romantic prayers have been heard and being answered. Rose Quartz is associated with innocent, youthful, and playful romantic love. So if you are currently in a relationship, you may want to have a play date with your partner. If you are single and looking, Rose Quartz is a sign of courtship, crushes, flirtation, and the bliss of new love on the horizon for you, which really does relate particularly well with the Knight and the Ace of Wands. They relate to fire signs, Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries, all known for their playfulness, their childlike enthusiasm and generosity and open-heartedness. So that it relates very well with what it's saying there about youthful and playful love. This is also a sign of falling back in love with your life and valuing life itself. Focusing upon your blessings and what you're grateful for allows you to regain the love of life. Prayers can help you appreciate this amazing gift that God has given to you. So even if you're not coupled, not looking to be coupled, or there's no one on the horizon, you can still take it, that phrase, doing you. You doing you. And that could be exactly what this tower is about. Whatever you had, whether that was a job, relationship, friendship, or just the way you were organising your life, that wasn't working, so you got rid of it, starting afresh. And it's giving you new drive, enthusiasm, and passion. So that's great. So about rose quartz. This pale pink quartz crystal is associated with attracting, healing, and maintaining romantic love. Polished rose quartz stones are often carved into heart shapes to further amplify their connection to love. I do put these somewhere, but I can't find it right this minute. I think it might actually be on a necklace somewhere. So I'll leave it there and close it out with the rose quartz card. Beautiful crystal cards to finish that off with. But I'll just remind you that hopefully by the end of November you'll be getting a little bit more clarity by listening to yourself or divine guidance, and it's going to be illuminating, and you'll find your way by the end of the month. This situation, I feel, will have some more clarity by that point. So enjoy November. Looks like there's quite a lot of fun stuff going on. Might be a little bit nerve-wracking, but I hope you found that helpful. Please let me know in the comments if this resonates with you, and if you found it useful, how it plays out with you and your scenarios. That's always good to hear. Other than that, I will see you in December for the final monthly reading of 2018. You have a great month.